Hello, David.
Hello.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. Welcome to Paris.
Thank you very much. As you know, I keep coming back. I've seen you several times this year. But I've been thinking that many citizens have an idea of the politicians in their cities. Quite often they are reduced to a Wikipedia photo, a Twitter handle, and the things that we write and the sound bites that you have to give. And I just think it's more interesting to talk about the person behind the one idea of the politician. You have many people, I think, in Paris who vote for you, who are enjoying your policies. People maybe outside Paris who are not fans of you because of your policies, but they don't vote for you.
It's more complicated.
It's more complicated. Yeah. It's also very typical in many cities. But I mean, I'm just wondering about the politician, David. You are the deputy mayor of mobility in Paris. Boom. And that is an amazing job to be in that position in an iconic city like Paris.
Yeah.
But I want to hear where you came from, because I think the story of how you arrived at this position is an inspiration to other aspiring green politicians, but also other politicians around the world.
Yes, it's very interesting questions, because you know, when you are elected and when you are elected in this city, because it's an iconic city in Paris, so it's very proud to be, I'm very proud to be here, and it was a lot of works, and sometimes I'm asked myself why I am here, why I'm doing that, why I'm discussing with you in English. It's an interesting question, because politics, for me, it's connected with the personal history and with origins of people. So for me, to be here in Paris with you today, it's because Paris, for me, it's an iconic city for you, for me, but especially for me, because I was born in a little village in France. It was very different from here, with a lot of very different problematics, especially in mobilities, because when you don't have any cars, you are dead, socially dead. When you are in this kind of village, it's in the east of France. It was not very rich. It was even very poor, and very with a lot of agriculture, with a lot of no school, no shop. So very, very, very small. And when you are young in this kind of village, and when you want to discover world, and when you watch on television that there is a lot of things around the world that's very fantastic, and when you want to embrace the world, so you say, okay, what I want to do, and what you want to, and where I want to live. And where you want to live when you are in France and in a little village, it's Paris. Because Paris, it's beautiful, of course, but it's also a city where you can, be emancipated. You have a lot of opportunity to do a lot of things that you don't have that in this kind of village. So, to answer your question, the first thing of this parkour, of this history, my story, is Paris, because Paris for me, it's still the world. It's not of course equivalent, but in my imagination of young people, when I was a young people, it was a door towards world. This is a proof that it's true, because you are not French, and so I'm discussing with you now. So it was very important for me. It was very important for me for emancipation, social emancipation, because I come from not a poor, but not very rich, poor family, and it was an emancipation, of course, because I'm gay, and when you are gay in a little village in France 30 or 40 years ago, it was not very difficult, and big city, especially Paris, was the synonym of freedom, emancipation, and stimulation. So, and I'm not disappointed about that.
But I mean, you went to Paris from this small village. You didn't go to maybe a larger city in your region. I don't know where it was, maybe Strasbourg or something. But you went.
It's
for
Nancy.
you, Paris was the
Yeah.
Nancy. Huh?
Yeah, Nancy.
Okay, but you just skipped over Nancy and you went straight to
Nancy,
Paris.
Lille, and after Paris, and I was during my studies I worked in England, in Belgium, and I'm trying to discover Europe, of course. But during my study, I've decided first to go to Nancy for what we call in France classe préparatoire. It's like a university, but it's not exactly like
College.
Yes, it's something to prepare competitions to go to high school. So it was something special in France. And after, when I was in a business school, but it was crap, but it's not the subject. But when I was in a business school, it was in Lille, so it's not Paris. And after, in the beginning of the 2000, I'm decided to go here because, you know, in France, it's not something good, of course, but in France, when you want to have a job, great job, and when you want to have professional opportunities, Paris is still the main city to go.
Now, are there friends of yours that you grew up with in the village or that the area that you're in who's still there? Like, or did they all leave, or or were you the only one that went? To Paris.
Yes, yes, I was the only one. Yeah, I was the only one because when I was young, you know, when you know, I don't know how it is, but elsewhere, but in the little village and the little in my area in France, in the east. You have not a lot of public services, and you don't have a lot of good school. So you know, when I say to my friends, okay, now I don't want to stay here and I want to take trains and to go in the big city and maybe in Paris, well, like a dream. Everybody says, okay, no, I don't want to go here because Paris is more polluted. Here it's cool, and we have a lot of space, and it's great to have children, and they didn't understand exactly what I wanted to do. It was true for Paris. And it was true also for my committed in politicians. When I, you know, now I'm elected and green. So my friends, my old friends, I don't know if they always understand what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm not sure. It's complicated.
It's complicated.
Yeah, it's complicated.
There is the universal.
But we are still friends.
Well, you're still friends. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, but it is a universal, timeless divide: the rural and the urban. You know, I think it's the same in most places in the world. Like, oh, you want to go to the big city? I don't understand. Or the other way around. I'm often the other way around. I prefer to go to cities, but. The journey from a small village to the deputy mayor, I mean, you left perhaps because you felt like there were other opportunities, personal emancipation, how do you say that word? Emancipation.
Emancipation, yeah.
And you thought you'd have problems with English, but look at me, yeah.
No, it's the same word in French.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so you left because of personal emancipation and opportunities, of course, but how did you end up here? Like, how did you decide to go into politics? And were you always a part of the Greens? Was that your first entrance to politics, the Green Party?
The first party I have decided to go is the Green when I was young, because it says, you know, it's something very strange or maybe weird, because it was not because I wanted to, I said, okay, there is a problem with climate, there is a problem with the environment, and it's too polluted. No, it's not that. It was not that. It was just because during the 80s, one of the main figure or main personality, a green personality, was a woman, Dominique Voynet. She was minister, green minister at this period, and she was very engaged against hunting and for LGBT rights. So she was very, you know, you had no woman in responsibility at this period. And for me, it was a proof of modernity. It was a proof proof of something very nice, and I wanted to be part of this adventure with a movement which gave opportunity to women to become minister, and to become deputy mayor, and to become to take responsibility and big responsibilities. And for me, it was this motivation, this first motivation, and after. When I've decided to go to a politics family, at the beginning I had nothing to say. I was just because okay, I met people, friendship, and around a beer you say jokes, and it was cool. And after you have I have met people, and my reflections, my thoughts are changed, and I've understood that climate is a very big problem, and we need to change the organization, the social organization, the economic organization. And you know, I was in a poor family, and for me, social equality is a very, very, very big issue when you decided to make politics. So for me, green people and green movement make great, proposals against climate change, of course, and to transform the society with more equality, with more social equality, with more societal equalities as well. And for me, it's the value I wanted to invest, and I think that it's the value we had together to invest if we want to adapt with the crisis, climate change, and the climate crisis and the social crisis we had now.
So I was going to ask you who your first political hero was. I have mine in my life, and is it this?
What is your hero?
Pierre Elliott Trudeau. I'm Danish, but I grew up in Canada, so for me this is flamboyant politician.
Yeah, he's flamboyant.
Yeah, oh my God.
But a liberal one.
Yeah. Yes. And back in Canada, then we only had two. There was like the two parties.
Yeah.
That was it. So and I just love the guy. But was your first political hero this the leader of the Greens that you mentioned, or do you have somebody else?
Yeah, it's like an hero for me. If I think that when you are a woman and when you are discriminated, in society, and you manage to become a minister, it's Dominique Voynet, but also when I see other women. But Dominique Voynet was for me at this period, for the young people I was, a very important figure in this political screen. And for me, it's like an hero, because it says for me, okay, it's possible for everybody, even if you are a woman, even if you are not, if you don't have any heritage or any a big famous name. So, and in France it's very difficult, to get a big position without any famous name and famous family. Even if we are in Republic, we had a lot of history connected with monarchy. So it's an old country. It's not very fluid. It's not very easy to people. We are not the good family, the right families to success, especially in politics. So for me, to watch on television personality like Dominique Voynet said for me means for me, okay, it's possible. You can do it, and it's possible to try to change things, even if it's difficult, even if it's not sufficient, it's not enough, but it's possible to try. And for me, it's very important. I prefer trying to do something, even if it's not perfect, even if I know bicycle lanes are not perfect in Paris, but I prefer tries to improve things and to make struggle in this house, in these institutions to change lines and to get some success, to modify and to change the way of moving in Paris. Than stay in my home and just watch television and just to say, okay, it's not my world, because of course it's my world.
Now, French politics, I think in my mind, has always been this, you kind of mentioned it, the traditional channels, and then you will become a French politician. And I don't know, has it always been like that in the City Hall? And somebody like you coming into this position of power that you have, is this a new transformation in the City Hall of Paris, that you have some untraditional journeys to bring you here? I mean, is there more freedom in the City Hall than there is in national politics? And do you know what I mean?
No, it's for me, it's an old institution here. We are together in the City Hall of Paris. It's an old town with an old tradition. So it's, here it's like, we say that it's like a little small national parliament. It's like a mirror, but in more on smaller national parliament with the same mechanism, with the same organization, and it's very traditional. So, but today it's possible to outbreak the codes and to outbreak the traditions, to change this institution. It's not just me, because I have untraditional journey, because I'm not from a big and famous family, but I'm white man, and I have made some high school, so it's a mix between untraditional and traditional, of course. But when I was head of Green List during the last competition elections, and we tried to promote some personalities, any personality that they are elected now, like feminist and lesbian activists, like black people and black women, like people we didn't have the code, and they are quite different. And I'm convinced, I have the convictions that it's very important for democracy, because we are in a complex world, and this complex world, if you want to make solutions and to transform this world that is very, very, very and more complex, you need to have some people who have different point of view to build together solutions. If it's the same people with the same schools, with the same history and the same family, and they are just in the bourgeoisie or upper class, French upper class, so it's very difficult to invent solutions we need now. So I'm sure of that, and it's a question, of course, of restoration of democracy. Today you have a very mistrust between people and politics, and one of these problems, one of these tensions, is that politics and politicians, that I am, but politicians don't represent people in the diversity. So it's very important to reconnect, and a way, it's not the only one, but one way to solve this and to reconnect people with the politician system is to allow some people different, diversity, people, another way of thinking, to be elected and to work for the common goods.
So we could talk, I think, for many hours about all the different amazing things that are happening coming out of your office, coming out of different offices in here from the City Hall in Paris. But I want you to choose the one that is most personal to you? Perhaps it was your idea and you pushed it through the political halls and now it is in place somewhere in Paris. What is the one that makes you feel the most? The one that you're most proud of, but also the one that you have the biggest emotional connection? Which little piece of policy?
Yes. So the first, for me, the first things and the most important things, it's to be part of an history. If we can today, make some bicycle lanes and to change public space and to have this kind of public discourse. Discourse.
Yeah.
The public discourse about environment and about climate. It's because before me, my political family has made a lot of works. And I'm very proud to be, a part of this history. And I know that a lot of people before me, like Dominique Voynet, but a lot of people before me had made a lot of works. And I hope that after me, a lot of people will make greater works that we can do now. So that's, for me, that's very important, because politics is not just an history of just one man or just one woman. It's an history of community and an history of collective and group people. A lot of people. And after, it's very. I'm very emotional when I see that people not are just happy, but that when I see that what we do and what we decide here and what we build in the public space, because it's my delegation now, it's my responsibility during this mandate, it's change daily life. When people say, okay, wow, before it was awful to move in a bicycle, and it was awful to go to school because a lot of cars, and it was more polluted, and etc. And now they say, okay, it's better in my life, and it's great things, because it's the connections between the improve of daily life of people. I hope it's true, and I know that it's true for a lot of people. And this improvement is connected with an answer of big topics we have: climate change, social inequality, etc. So that's great to say that. Big words like we made a big revolution in Paris and we want to change everything in Paris. When you are a candidate and you make politician and you are on television and you say, okay, a lot of big words, and because it's a part of the job, and you know that what you are saying is also action in local life and change daily life of people in real. So that's great, to see that politics is not just words; it's also acting.
Do you have a specific project out of all the projects you do that you just think that's really cool? It doesn't have to be anything big or grand, like one specific street or one. Is there anything that you can point at in this big city that is Paris that you, David, you ride your bike past and you think, okay, that was actually cool. That we did that. Is there like just one human touch that you think is really cool in the big world of your politics?
Yeah, it's just yesterday. Yesterday we were in Avenue de la République. It's a big avenue to see a building project, to see building projects, and we are making just new bicycle lanes. So it's almost finished. You can see the difference in the street. And just that, I'm very proud of that.
Okay.
Because it's a real transformation, just a real transformation. In 4 weeks, it will be finished, and I will, and you will, and everybody will take the bicycle and just to use that. And we have decided that. And I remember when we have decided that and all the meeting before that. So that's great.
And so, yeah, I mean, seeing also as an urban designer, I've worked in some cities where they did everything we said very quickly. So within 6 months there was new asphalt, you know, and new bike. So that I identify with that because you see it, and you rode your bike past before and it was different. Now, oh my God, yeah, I like the answer. Sorry, I can totally.
It's great. It's great. And
when you see that your city, the form of the city change, right? Yeah.
And you know there is a difference between, I don't know, what we can do 20 or 30 years ago, because before, when you wanted to change city, it was very, very, very big project, and between the beginning and the end, it will be, I don't know, 20 years. It was very, very long. Now, what we are doing now in Paris, it's just big. It's not very big project. It's just, you know, we are changing by little touch in the city. So we decided to make, I don't know, bicycle lanes. Of course, we have a global vision. I hope we try, but it's not quick, but it's not long. In a year and a half, you can really change things, and it's fantastic. Even when you decided to enlarge your sidewalk, it's fantastic because it's a big change for people.
I think last time we met, we were talking about this acupuncture. I mean, is this an official policy from you and from the City Hall to maybe plan the long-term visions, but also to just do this quick?
Yeah.
And is this an official policy? Like something that you talk about?
It's something. It's very transparent. I can say that like with the same words when I explain what we are doing. And during the campaign, I have say that it's the end of mayor. In French, we say grand bâtisseur. There is no translation between this. It's a French expression to say, okay, when you are elected or when you are politicians, you want to make, you know, big building like Pyramide du Louvre.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know. Tour Montparnasse. You want make that, and
Remember
you say,
me.
okay, it's me. It's my memory, and I'm connected for eternity with city. So it was an old vision. Now the new vision, it's because climate crisis, because we don't have enough money. It's a big reason. We have to make something different, and the difference is like you say, acupuncture. It's something very transparent. It's something we have explained during the campaign, and I like to say about that. There is. I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud not to build a lot of things not very useful, but just to change by little touch city, and I'm sure it's a revolution. I'm sure we are changing Paris a lot, and I'm sure that for me it's very important to do that, because I'm sure it's what we have to do now.
I think this is important advice for other politicians around the world to, you know, this quick acupuncture approach to show people the change, you know, almost every week, right?
Yeah, but it's not easy.
No.
It's quite difficult, because to change that you have to change the mentality, and especially for people who works in the administration, it's a big change, because it's a very different way of thinking, of working, because they have to integrate climate, they have to integrate this approach, little small points like that. It's quite difficult. It's another process. It's you have to find a new organization, new procedure, new way of new capacities as well. But it's very exciting. because we are changing Paris, but we are changing the way of we are looking this city, and we are thinking cities.
The Greens continue to rise in influence all over Europe.
I hope.
Yeah, I'm sure you're happy about that. Absolutely. But what is your quick advice to young people who maybe want to get into the Green Party, or young people with the same kind of convictions that you have, and perhaps are thinking about politics or activism? What is your quick elevator pitch, for young people who have the same kind of green philosophy that you do?
It's quite difficult to give you an answer, but. When you are a politician, I see that sometimes I have no energy, because Green Party everywhere in Europe are growing their influence, but I see also that there is a lot of opposition. There is a lot of barriers to change, and it's like a course between us and climate change.
Yeah.
So
a race.
A race.
A race.
A
yeah.
race. Yes, it's a race. It's a race, and we have no choice to win this race. We have no choice. If we don't win, we are condemned to disappear. So it's very important for young people just to get commit or to engage, to be engaged in a political movement, and to not to have don't have to lose hope. When in France we have National Rassemblement. It's right far party, and it's very big, and maybe it's several months he can get the power, and so okay. Sometimes I say okay, I don't know what I have to do. It's okay. I will buy an house in the country, and I will just have my garden, and that's it. So just don't think about that. Just now we have a race to win, and it's very important. And this race will be win with the new generation, because it's the new generation, the young people. They have to take power, and we will help them to get this power, because we need to change now society. And so I think that if I have just an advice or just one thing to say. It's not to lose hope, but to fight and to fight and to fight again.
I am locked into supporting one football club since I was born. I cannot choose a different club. This is a family thing. But I like that I can find new cities to support. And I've always, we've talked about I love Paris, and you said everybody loves Paris. I love Paris. You love Paris. But on urban policy, I was in Helsinki just last week talking to the vice mayor, Anni Sinamaki, and she was going, oh my God, Paris. Oh, and the things they're doing in Paris, But I think Paris and Helsinki are the cities to watch, and I think it is just much more exciting than my football team playing to watch what you're going to bring to the streets of your city just next week, in next month. I think it's an amazing journey to watch Paris's transformation. And thank you for that, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, and thank you to see what we are doing, and to love Paris like you love it.
I do.
Thank you very much.
Merci, David.